Hey everyone, this is Andrew Kissin, Senior Marketing Manager for Zahn Dental. We're here with Dr. Amalfitano. Dr. Amalfitano, you have a unique practice where you see patients, but yet you also do some of your own lab work. Can you give us a little overview of what the average day is like for you?
Sure. Well, I run a full service periodontal practice, so I see everything from severe gum disease to soft tissue grafting, laser treatment, single unit dental implants, complex bone grafting, sinus augmentation. But the niche that I'm growing right now is a full arch reconstruction.
And how did you really get started working with Mary and Zahn Dental? How did that relationship start?
It was kind of interesting, early on. I'm kind of a goal-oriented person, and I knew from the full arch that I wanted to do certain things. One of the first things I wanted to do was get into milling full arch PMMA for my full arch reconstruction patients. And I started collecting information about, well, what am I going to need to do this? What equipment am I going to need? And I started making myself a list. And then all of a sudden, a flyer came across from Zahn, and I opened it up and I'm like, this thing's got everything I need. So I started making a list out of that, and I contacted Zahn and started working with Mary over there, who helped me get started with everything I need.
So today, what equipment are you using in your practice?
Well, I have two mills, um, a smaller mill for PMMA, and then a larger mill for titanium substructures. I have Sintra furnaces. I've got uh, GC lab light, light curing for composites. Um, I've got DOF scanner. I've got Renfert on uh, the dust collection system.
You have a unique skill set, right? You went to school to be a doctor, you treat
Right,
patients, but yet you also saw the opportunity to bring some of the manufacturing and the production side into your practice.
right.
What has it been like going from equipment getting delivered to where you are today with maybe a comfort level and being where you are just in the general sense?
I've been kind of surprised that so much has worked. I kind of set my mind on, well, today my skill that I wanted to learn was, okay, how am I going to mill a full arch PMMA? How am I going to add composite? How am I going to bond tie bases? How am I going to do that whole procedure? So I start kind of macro and work my way down to the little steps, build the big part first, and then learn along the way what I need to do. Um, and since then I've gone from I actually started with surgical guides using exocad because I have a lot of cases where I need to set up a lot of teeth, and I wanted to make sure my screw access holes were all good. So I got into 3D printing, but using exocad, and then I started expanding the exocad into the full arch design for the PMMA. And then my next task was to get into full arch zirconia. Had to learn how to mill that, all the unique properties of working with zirconia. Then I had to learn how to add porcelain, so had to tackle that. And then lately, because I'm doing some bigger cases that I need titanium frames, I have to move into building titanium frameworks and then using lithium disilicate crowns or singles or zirconia crowns on top of that. So I'm amazed that things have worked as well as they have, and I think a lot of that is I call Mary many times a week and say, okay, Mary, how am I going to do this part? And she puts me in connection with the people who I need to speak with, and it works.
What's it like having that kind of support system in place with Mary and the relationship of, if you do have an issue or if you do need to go to the next step, that you have someone to call?
Yeah, I mean that's great. That I know that I tell Mary, either I look at the products in the catalog and do some research. I have some people that I speak with about things, and then we can get get whatever problem I have solved. So it's great having the support through Zahn there to help me do these more complex cases.
Doctor, what do you think is next in terms of you taking your practice? on the next advancement of digital, or what's coming that you're excited about in the world of dentistry and digital dentistry?
Well, I've been pretty amazed with what I've been seeing so far, and I look at it. Can the technology that I have now solve the problems that I have? And the problems that I have now are when I'm working on a full arch case. If I need to do something quickly, can I get it done? Can the technology help me fix it? Um, uh, quickly, because in these full arch immediate load cases, like one instance I had a patient that I did a lower arch on, and 2 weeks later he was in a rollover accident and busted his device. So he calls me on a Friday and says, something's loose. And when that happens, you need to act quick. Um, so he came in. I saw his device was fractured. He was also in a neck brace. So I spent the night. At that time, I didn't have a digital file for him, so designed his case that night. I milled it that night. I stayed up till about 1 or 2 in the morning. Put some composite on, brought him back the next morning, and was able to seat a new PMMA device for him. And to me, you know that's an amazing thing. And being a clinician, once you do the surgery, you go through and design everything, and then you put it in. It's like, this thing is exactly what I designed. It's quite an exhilarating feeling that that the technology that you have right now works very well. So as far as a level of technology, I'm really happy where I'm at now. What I see in the future is me backing off the lab work a little bit as I get busier. Training other people on how to get interested in digital dentistry so they can kind of take over my workflows. Um, but I think I just like, as I see the software improve, I see workflows improve, milling strategies improve. That's kind of what I'm looking at, more of the day to day. And the beautiful thing is that the digital technology that we have right now can get me through the day and solve a lot of patient problems. I think beyond what I even thought I could do even a year ago.
Yeah, and you just gave us a real life example of what digital can do for you and for the patient. What do you think are some of the other main benefits or the main advantage to an actual patient of either seeking out you or another practice that's using digital technology? It's always that ultimate question of what's in it. What do you think is in it for the patient?
I think with the way I have learned things, well, I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, I gave a lecture on all on four, and I can talk very freely about the surgical aspects, but then when you get to the prosthetic end, I kind of felt like I hit a wall a little bit. I really wasn't speaking as if I was confident enough in what was going on. So I thought I was going to solve that, and the way I was going to solve it is I was going to educate myself so that I could do the whole thing from start to finish, and then start to show other people, what I can do. I think with the patients, when they come in and sit down and talk to me, they know, or they have a sense that I've done this before, and that I can tell them, look, I've got all this equipment here. If something goes wrong, I'm going to fix it. If there's not going to be a delay, I'm 4 hours out of Detroit, 6 hours out of Chicago. Sometimes if you get a problem, I'm not going to wait several days. I need to fix the case now. And I think the patients sense that since we have everything under one roof, they're fairly confident in moving forward. And these are not small cases. These are big life-changing cases for people. They're costly, and they want to know that someone's going to understand their whole case, and it's not going to be split up between practice A and lab B and another restorative doctor. So I and kind of my OCD kicks in where I want to control every little step of the way, and I think that's helped me with a really tremendous success rate in keeping it under one roof and me understanding the whole process all the way through.
What's it like to that first moment of knowing that you just transformed somebody's smile?
Usually when they cry, I mean, in perio, people usually don't cry. They're kind of mad that I just did what I did to them. But with Mary, I had a particular case that we worked on a patient that was a domestic abuse patient, and she was in a point in her life where she wanted to transform her smile. And so I started working with her, ended up taking out all her teeth. I put in 11 implants. We made an initial device for her to wear, starting the next morning, it was delivered for her. She wore it for 6 months, came back in. We did all our prototypes and we got ready for upper, lower, full arch zirconia restorations. I designed everything. I put the ceramic in, and got ready to deliver it. And then you take out their old device, you put the new one in, and they kind of look at you, and then you look at them, and they look at our assistant, and they weep.
That initial reaction from a patient, there's got to be nothing like it. Is there a most memorable case that you've done that just jumps out to you?
Almost every one. I think every one I do feels a little bit better than the last one. Especially when you go through all these steps. You're working on a computer. You're working on a virtual articulator. You're dialing in contacts that are 15 microns on a computer, and then you put it in someone's mouth, and you see, God, this thing is exactly what I designed. They're all great, and just transforming. This is a transformative thing, and just being able to participate in patients' lives like that. And like I had a patient that I've been working with, for about 8 months, and he told me he got a compliment. He was at a bar. He was just leaning over the bar, and he said a woman came up to him and said, "Boy, you've got beautiful teeth." And he said, that's never happened to him in his life. So it's a major thing, and it's great to know that I had a little part in that these people can go around and smile and eat and chew and fix a lot of their problems just by doing this procedure, and having a hand in that is very rewarding. And having all the technology that we have available now is just unbelievable if you can leverage it and get it to complete the workflow that you need, which I can.
Awesome. Well, Doctor, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. We look forward to hearing more, and appreciate your partnership and working with Mary and everything else that will be coming out of your practice.
Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for spending time chatting.